What's up guys, I'm Nathan and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys the updated anime adventures tier list for the new Marineford update. And we got quite a few new legendaries and mythicals as well as a couple of epics. So this is going to be the first version. There might be another if at all another character is found to exist, because that isn't exactly known yet. But in this video I'm going to be ranking it a bit differently as the last one, just to make it a little bit shorter and a bit quicker for you guys. I'm no longer including all of the weak rares because there's literally no point. We all know that they're garbage. So D tier isn't exactly the worst. The characters that are not included are the worst characters. So SK is going to be for metas and basically characters that can be used as metas, because there's a lot of different configurations that you can use, because this game has pretty balanced characters. Like, many characters are very close, and it's hard to say, like, with certain combinations certain characters can be better, and in certain maps certain characters can be better. So SK is going to be for that. AT is going to be for meta alternatives, as well as characters that can basically handle the hardest story mode map, that are good enough to easily do that. B tier is going to be for usable characters that aren't too great but aren't bad either, basically the mid characters. C tier is going to be for the characters that are at least good to use for beginners, and D tier is going to be the characters that even beginners should not bother using. So we're starting off with the secret character, I'm pretty sure. That's going to be Ace. Ace is going to go ahead and be in top D tier. He only has about 100 DPS. He does like 500 damage with 5 SPA. He does burn, but there's just nothing really special about him. But he does have a decently good range and circle AoE. Kizuru is also going to be in B tier. He doesn't have the best DPS. But I mean, he's not terrible for a legendary, but he's definitely one of the worst ones. And he's also a hill unit, meaning he has less placement opportunities. Eren is going to be like top B tier as well. He definitely can't solo like easily clear the hardest map. He basically is a summoner type unit which summons fairly decent HP mobs, as well as has a special ability that is going to be an attack titan with pretty good HP, like 3k, and the attack titan will also attack once and before just running into the enemies, which is not bad. Whitebeard, the evolved version anyway, definitely going to be a solid S tier. He has fairly good DPS, and the thing is, he also gets an ability when you evolve him, and this ability is actually going to push back enemies. It's going to be an alternative to use for All Might. All Might also pushes back enemies. This dude has an ability which does that, and also has really good damage. Genos is alright because he does have a fast SPA, so I won't put him in D tier. Sanji is also a very usable starter for beginners. Piccolo is also going to be in C tier just because he's got good range. Akenu is going to be in S tier, but like low S tier, he's just a very solid damaging unit that can definitely be used as a meta, because he's probably a contender burner for Madara, because he has a circle AoE which is just a lot more versatile, you could say, than cone AoE, because like your priority will not really get messed up. Levi, the evolved version, will actually have bleeding, which is not too bad. He does really good DPS. However, circle AoE is very small, so he's can be in A tier. Speedwagon is going to be bottom S tier because Bulma was buffed or something, like she does like more damage, not more damage, what the heck, she gives more cash now, which is why yeah, Speedwagon is going to be there, but he's going to be lower on S than he was last time. Zenitsu is just a garbage epic. I would not really recommend using him. He just doesn't have good damage, and he just costs too much for what he can do, in my opinion. Gaara is not even that bad. I would say bottom B tier, because Gaara is going to be able to stun with a pretty big circle AoE, which is not too bad. Trafalgar Law is going to be top C tier, definitely a solid character for beginners, because he actually is going to be a single target but with good range and does insane damage for an epic, with like the damage per second is on par with some weak legendaries. This dude Irwin is going to be in S tier because he buffs all your units by 25%, which is pretty good. Blackbeard is going to be also in S tier because The thing what Blackbeard does is that he has a status effect called Curse. He doesn't slow down units like an ASTD, but basically this Curse makes the enemies take more damage from your units. It's essentially buffing your units because it's gonna give you like 1 to 1.5 times the damage of your units, which is actually even better than Irwin. So there's definitely some configurations where you can easily use Blackbeard. Dio is still a very good legendary. He's going to be a solid S tier as well. Basically, he is going to have an auto time stop because his normal ability, his normal attacks itself will be able to time stop enemies, which is amazing on story mode. He's not even expensive to get his road roller ability. He's got a huge circle AoE and decently good DPS as well. Sakura is going to be like bottom A tier because she actually gives you a 10% buff on your damage, and the good thing is this stacks with Irwin, so she's actually usable if you just want. You could definitely get like a serious damage boost, like just use Sakura, Irwin, Blackbeard. That would be pretty insane, I guess. Giorno is going to be also like low A tier because he's actually quite good on story mode. He has the he's just a pretty solid all-rounder. He's got decent damage, decent range, decent SPA, decent circle AoE, just pretty good on story mode. This dude Goku is also going to be in low A tier because he's actually one of the better damaging legendaries for infinite mode, maybe the best, because he does cost a lot, but he just does really good damage for a legendary, I must say. This dude is going to be bottom C tier Josuke because he does stun the enemies, but it's literally a single target stun, so not great, I would say. All Might is going to be a pretty decent S tier. He also does solid damage and his normal attack itself pushes back those enemies. So overall a very good character, and you can basically use either All Might or Whitebeard. Crocodile is actually very good, I must say, because he does very good damage, and also he's got a pretty huge circle AoE with good SPA. Definitely usable, even probably as good as legendaries like Kizaru. So for beginners, definitely get this character. Frieza's gonna be bottom B tier because honestly he's also quite good damage wise and AoE wise. Todoroki is gonna be bottom S tier because he is the only character thus far that actually is gonna be able to slow down the enemies with a burn as well. The burn isn't the main part, it's the fact that he can slow down enemies, so it is usable in the meta. Broly is still going to be pretty much one of the best, evolved Broly that is going to be one of the best damage dealers in the game currently, just because he's full AoE with still nearly 1000 damage per second, which is common in most of the mythics. But yeah, the full AoE with like 47 plus range is just amazing. Killua is going to be a pretty solid epic, pretty huge circle AoE, nothing special though. Itachi is going to be like top B tier. He burns and stuff, but yeah, he probably would not be able to handle the highest story mode. Mythical Madara is going to be another pretty solid character. I don't think he's like too much better than Akinu. I would say maybe they're tied because they both burn. Madara does do probably more damage. It's just that, or actually they do about the same damage, but it's just that Madara has a cone AoE, which is a bit less versatile than the circle AoE. Bulma is now a lot better because, yeah, she just gives significantly more cash than Speedwagon does currently. Kakyoin is going to be like D tier because he just has garbage damage. Shanks is actually surprisingly good. I'm gonna put him as like one of the best mythical units currently, just because of the fact that his damage per second is surprisingly the highest in the game. He has more than like he has more than 1000 DPS if I'm correct. He's also full AoE with obviously a lot lesser range than Broly, but he also has the special ability that basically time stops the enemies. So overall he's an amazing all-round. He's also got a really fast SPA. Damage isn't crazy, but yeah, it's mainly because of his fast SPA, because most of those heavy hitters so far have over 10 SPA, which is just what makes Shanks, the evolved one, the Conqueror Shanks, just so good. Luffy is gonna be in D tier. The reason I included him is just because he's got a pretty fast SPA and good damage for beginners if you're getting a rare. Then Overhaul is going to be like bottom C tier because he is definitely not terrible because he's got a very fast SPA to begin with. Diavolo is going to be like low S tier because he's not great, but he is certainly usable in the meta in certain configurations because he has an ability that time stops the entire map. It doesn't last long, so it's not necessarily better than the actual time stop units, but I mean it's not too bad. It's not too bad. This dude is gonna be right there. They kind of tied Rengoku and Levi. They're both elemental characters. They're just not on par with those S tier characters. Mythical Armin is probably going to be in B tier, like top B tier. He's the worst mythical by far. Just because like he relies on a special ability, which basically he transforms into the Colossal Titan. They really did him dirty though because he barely does damage and he has like 60 seconds a cooldown. Plus you have to keep bothering about clicking, and he's so expensive, which is why I literally put two legendaries, Goku and Giorno, higher than Mythical Armin. Kakashi is pretty garbage just because he's so expensive and does not have good damage. Pain is definitely a solid character to use. Probably one of the better legendaries because he's an alternative for All Might. I obviously can't put him on S tier because All Might just does way more damage, but still the fact that he also pushes back enemies is quite nice. Finally we have Jyotaro, who's going to be bottom S tier as well because you might argue Dio does exist and does auto time stop, but there is one advantage of being able to manually time stop, and that is that you can actually group the enemies however is convenient and necessary. With Dio, you actually will not be able to properly group those enemies because Dio is just gonna be doing his own thing. But with this dude, yeah, you definitely can group them however is needed because you can manually time stop. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this video. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you guys want to see next, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.